I have respect for guys. I have respect for guys' games and what they've done, but at no point in my career will I ever back down. I will never back down. I have respect for guys, but I will never apologize. I dunk, I shoot, I alley-oop, I attack, I make plays my way. I've never tried to make people mad. I've never tried to make people look bad. Sometimes things happen. Life goes on. I dunk on everybody. Dunk on everybody. Dunk on everybody. It's a blast for me. Dunk on everybody. Dunk on everybody. Dunk on everybody. That's what people want to see. I will never back down. I will never back down. I have respect for guys, but I will never apologize. I dunk on everybody, dunk on everybody, dunk on everybody. It's a blast for me. Dunk on everybody, dunk on everybody, dunk on everybody. I will never back down.
Hey y'all, I keep trying to get away from it, but the way these NBA playoffs are set up, man, it is so appropriate. They need to hurry up and do one for Anthony Edwards. They need to hurry up and do one for Anthony Edwards, PDQ. So anyway, oh man, I had my guys finna introduce our special guest for today, but he dropped off on me. So as soon as he comes back in, I will get it in. I don't think I've had a guest on here in forever since I had Erica with a K on here. You know, it's been a long time. But anyway, oh man, listen, this dude right here, brother, hear me when I tell you, you are in my sincere thoughts and prayers, man. I got you covered. I hope everything is going well with you, man. Really been praying for you. I got word of what happened, so got you covered. All right, Skeeter. Blessings, man. Heads up. All right. It's game time. Yeah, we ain't never backing down right now. Right now, we are not backing down. And I got to give some love to Keith Hennick. What's up, my brother? He's giving love to Erica with a K. She's giving love back to him. And now she's giving, hold on, wait a minute. Is she giving love? No, she said love to Keith. Then I got some love. Then she gave love to Skeeter. And now she tripping about Mizzou. Well, listen, I'm going to put all that to rest because I got one of the best. I got a dude that knows it all when it comes to sports. And he is a dude that has Cole Sportz with a Z. He is none other than what I call the voice of BS3 Network. It is Cole Johnson. What's up, bro? Cole. Can you hear me, man? Tell me you can hear me, bro.
Yeah, I can hear you, bro.
Can't. All right, man. Look, can I borrow your voice for like a year? I can make a bag in a year with your voice, man. I ain't lying. Look, you laughing. I ain't lying.
I'll be glad. The moves you make, it may go a while. So hey, I'll be glad to
Listen, man, I'm so glad to have you on the show. Tell us what's going on with Cole Sportz and with you, man. In fact, do me a favor before we get to that. Tell everybody who you are, what you've done, and all that for those who don't know you.
Okay. Well, Cole Johnson's the name. I've been in the content creation game for almost a decade. I've been affiliated off and on with media for at least 20 years. And I've done, different things off and on. Now I am a manager at USA Today. So I do things of that nature with that wonderful organization. And I mean, there's so many things I do. What don't I do? I can engineer and produce audio, and I do that for them. Of course, I do graphics, obviously. And I created this program called Cole Sportz, and it was actually at the behest of my wife that I created it. I'm not so sure if I'm going to continue with that brand yet. I might shelve it for good. I'm not quite sure yet. because I have other things that I want to cook, and that's in the fire. So I might want to do something different. But outside of that, I'm just a man who lends voices to whatever projects out there, and whatever people need, I'm here for you when it comes
Bro,
to
you
content
you
creation.
kill it. You kill it, man. You
Thank you.
absolutely kill it. And I appreciate that. I want to go a little bit
Thank you.
deeper, man. Where are you
Okay.
from originally? Where were you born and reared?
Okay. Well, I was born in New Orleans, and actually, I just celebrated a birthday. Oh, you New Orleans born brother too?
So
Oh,
I was
okay.
not born in New Orleans, but my mom's side of the
Okay.
family is from Louisiana. She went to high school in New Orleans at Xavier Prep. I attended
Mm,
school in New Orleans for my junior year of high school. I went to De La Salle, as they like to say. And then I
that's
graduated
yeah.
from a school there by the name of Tulane University, although I spent more
Oh
time
man.
at this school right here. In fact, I'm a
Xavier.
member of their alumni association because I rocks with them and I don't rock with Tulane like I used to.
Ah, I have passed by Xavier many times, so yes, I'm fully aware.
So
Fully
the
aware.
problem is, I didn't just pass by, I stopped and stayed.
Well, yeah, and for me, I would go back and visit, but I didn't grow up in New Orleans. But of course, I do have family who still do to this day live there. But I moved to my parents actually were in Houston, and I moved back to Houston, or I moved to Houston when I was all of 2 months of age.
Oh wow. Okay.
So I grew up a Houstonian basically,
Okay. Okay.
and that's what I consider myself. I consider myself a Houstonian, and outside of a couple of years in the military, that's where I was until about 2010, and I have since moved to Nashville, and that's where I have been ever since.
Oh man, I'm telling you, bro, we have a lot in common, man. I've been here in Houston since 1989.
Man.
Absolutely love it, but
Hmm.
ready to put it behind me. And it's looking like Tennessee is going to be the landing spot, or somewhere
Man,
right by Tennessee.
man,
And
you'll love it here.
and man, that's what I've heard, bro. I've
Hmm.
heard it is crazy good. It's like
Yeah,
better than most people think.
it is. It is, and it is different than most people would think. The stereotype, of course, is backwards and redneck, and yeah, you have those like you have it in Houston,
Right.
but
Anywhere.
yeah, and it's just like anywhere. But you'll be surprised at how little of a of a sample size that is compared to the rest of the population. And then you add, the natural landscape of what Tennessee offers, and it's really difficult to beat anywhere. And you get 4 seasons, unlike Houston, where
Yeah.
you may
No,
get two and a half.
right, exactly. Exactly. Hey, y'all, we got Cole Johnson from Cole Sportz, big voice of BS3 Network, and just my brother, my friend. So glad to have him on. In fact, boss man that jumped on, Ben Sutter the
Uh
third,
oh.
has
Uh
come
oh.
through. So watch your P's and your Q's. Don't get me fired on my off day. And yeah, man, I'm serious. Nashville, Memphis. In fact,
Yeah, I've heard
right
Memphis is
outside
good
of
too.
Memphis, there's all kinds of crazy good
Hmm.
towns where you can get land and
Yeah.
house, and I'm a
Hmm.
country boy from the city, man. So
Yeah.
if you only knew, man, you put me on some land where I could throw some horses and a barn, bro. I'm gonna stay out of trouble. I promise you, I'm gonna stay out of trouble.
Well, yeah, you talk about that. Yeah, you're right. I know there's some land in let me see, west of the Mississippi. When you get to Memphis, you go there and you're in Arkansas. There's land
Yep,
there.
yep,
You cross the border, and because Memphis is, of course, it borders Arkansas and Mississippi. You
right.
go south, and there's a whole lot of land there. Yeah, so
Best
yeah,
kept
you're
secret,
right.
bro, because I didn't know. I didn't know,
Hmm.
and now that I know, I'm trying to get as
Hmm.
much of it as I can. So,
Yeah, and
when
you're
did you
right.
start
It
your
is. It is.
venture into sports? How did that get started for you?
Well, in terms of fandom, I would say probably when I was 7.
Wow.
And yeah, I would, of course, if you have a father that you love, you want to do everything that your father does, and you idolize everything that he's into. And
Right.
he would talk endlessly about Jackie Robinson. I mean, endlessly about him. And to the point, so endlessly, he talked about him that he is now my favorite baseball player ever. Just because of that, because I went and I studied for myself, and I'm like, I don't really like what this dude did. So yeah, he talked a lot about Jackie Robinson. Of course, he talked a lot about Muhammad Ali.
Yeah.
And and along with that, he had other wonderful stories that he would tell me about. And he was a Brooklyn Dodgers fan, so of course he talked to me all about that. And he was a huge baseball fan.
Yeah.
So I learned baseball first, but of course when you're in Houston, you just can't help but get into football. It just is a part of you.
Yeah,
it's just part of the culture. And of course, by the time that I was growing up, it was right at the height of Love You Blue and Earl Campbell.
Yeah.
So I loved 034, and that was the man that I loved. And of course I loved another 34, Nolan Ryan, when I watched the Astros.
Yep.
And then when it got to the mid 80s, I loved yet another 34 on another set of Battlefield, and that was the Hakeem Olajuwon.
Yes, sir.
So I got a chance to really appreciate these athletes, and they all played for the teams in the city in which I resided, and I just became enamored with sports just by seeing them. And then came when I had this fascination with this guy who was on TV, and he was on NBC, and he would host NFL on NBC. And I was like, man, so he's not like that white guy that was on the NFL Today on CBS. He's not like him. Of course, I'm referring to Brent Musburger.
Yeah.
He's not like him. He's this other guy. He looks like me. Well, of course, a little lighter in skin than me, but still, he looks like me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I like this guy. Okay. And then I studied more about him, even when I was like 7.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay, I think I want to do what he does. And then he helmed the NFL coverage in 81. And then I found that he became the permanent person on the Today Show in 1982. And that person, of course, was Bryant Gumbel.
Yep.
And I have been a fan of him ever since. And I wanted to have that same trajectory in broadcasting like him. And it turned out that I did. But it all started in sports with him, and it's all started with sports with me. And I've embraced football, basketball, and baseball ever since I would say I was 7.
Yeah. We got Cole Johnson joining us here. He is the voice of BS3, man. You hear those drops that I put in, man. That's 99% him. And then also amazing show with Cole Sportz with a Z. And man, I'm so glad to have you on the show once again, man. A lot in common. My family from Louisiana and the Gumbel family knew each other very well. I had uncles that grew up right around the Gumbel family. So knowing that they were from Louisiana drew my attraction to them as well. Right. And again, similar, it fell in love. My dad was a big baseball fan in Cincinnati Reds fan. So we got to see some great games. Oh, man.
Yes, you did. Yes,
great games. We got to see Hank Aaron. We got to see Pop Stargell. We got to see Dusty Baker as a player and not just as a manager. But what was crazy is my dad would not let me approach anybody for an autograph unless I knew something more about them than their name or how they flipped their bat in the form of Pop Stargell.
I love that. Oh, man. That is cool.
I spent more time with a newspaper figuring out stats and batting averages and all that kind of stuff. And man, I mean it. When I rolled up to Pop Stargell and told him what I had learned about him, he literally, he was like, man, that's unbelievable. He said, I don't care what you ever do in sports. I want you to do well in education. And the rest is history.
Go ahead, Pops.
The rest is history. Yeah.
Go ahead, Pops.
Yeah.
Nice.
So,
wow.
Yeah. And then on my granddad's side, the New Orleans Saints with the bags over their heads. I remember sitting in the stands for that.
I attended many Saints games. Yes.
So, man, again, brother, a lot of people think that we've known each other really well. We've known each other and we've
Right.
known of each other, but this is the first
Right.
time we're chopping it up here on the show. So
Yeah, it is.
and I'm glad to have you, man. I'm really glad to have you. Now
Thank you for
I'm
coming
going
on.
even
You're
deeper,
right.
bro. I'm going even
Okay.
deeper.
Go as deep as you want, brother. Go as deep as
How'd you
want.
meet your wife?
Oh, you going real deep. I like that.
Yeah, I don't play.
Okay. No.
I do this,
I
bro.
love that.
This is what I do.
I know this is what you do. I know you. When I do those commercials, I study everything about the show, and I know you do your homework and you do dive deep. I love that, though.
I appreciate you.
I actually met my wife online way back in 1999. I didn't know of her at all before we exchanged phone numbers and talked, and I mean, this was long before online dating was a thing.
Okay.
And yeah, and we hit it off, but didn't hit it off because, quite frankly, I don't think my life was ready for someone to be in it.
Wow.
And I don't believe hers was either, because she was just locked into her field because she was in communications heavy. And I was just getting my feet wet, period. And so we talked off and on for a few months, and then she had a traumatic experience happen in her family, and that was about 8 months after we actually met. And then we didn't talk anymore, and there wasn't any animus, it wasn't any division, it wasn't, oh, I hate you too, I don't want to speak to you anymore. It wasn't anything like that. It was just it was just basically just life just led her in one direction and me in a different one. So about almost 10 years later, I was like, I think, and I've then since married and then got divorced, and I said, I think I need to, that girl I talked to 10 years ago, I think I need to see what's going on with her. And so I went Facebook sleuthing.
Okay.
And so I was looking at pictures of she had what to have to offer on her page, and I was like, okay, she looks nice. Like, it was like 10 years was kind to her. That's pretty cool. And then I see this picture of a boy about 9 years of age that looks just like her. And I said, okay, so she has a son. All right. And so I just turned more. And then I basically slid into her Facebook DMs. And and so when she responded back, basically, well, okay, not necessarily hostile, but sort of like out of curiosity, who are you? Who is this person?
Wow.
And so before I answered her, I was like, okay, let me see if I can load up this answer with all of what I do know about her. And so I was like, okay, all right. So we met on this date. This event happened when we last talked. Because she actually lived in 3 different cities when we talked.
Okay.
Lived in this city when we started talking. And she actually moved to Nashville when we were talking. So she was in one city when we talked. She moved to Nashville during that time we were talking. And she was in the process of moving to a 3rd city before we split up. And I was really detailed with that. And so she was like, okay, yeah, you know too much about me to this being, fake or phony. So you do know me. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right. So she said, so what? So I'll tell you this. Here's my number. Give me a call and we'll talk. So this was like in the fall. And I was like, this was like about 1 week before Thanksgiving, that Thursday. And so I was like, all right. And I was thinking all day Friday when I went to work. And then after that, I went to dinner. I was like, I don't know if I want to speak to her yet because I don't think I'm ready for it. So I didn't call her Friday. And then before I retired for the night, I said, all right, I'm gonna run errands on Saturday. And after I run errands, I'll talk to her. And so I did the errands on Saturday. And then after I did the errands, it was about 7:15. I called her. And then 7:15 turned to 11:15. And then we both said, okay, well, we talked for a good extensive amount of time. I'm gonna hang up. And in an hour, if you feel like you want to talk some more, please do. And so we hung up at 11:15. We then for an hour didn't really speak to each other, and then I think I rushed back to the phone at 12:15 and called her. And then next thing you know, 12:15 turned into 6:45 and the next morning. And we have not talked. We have not gone another day without talking ever since, and that was almost 15 years ago.
Wow. Yeah. Wow. I mean, what a story. What a story. Cole Johnson, y'all, from Cole Sportz. I know y'all came on looking to talk sports, but hey, I've been led by the Spirit in a different way. And that's amazing to me. I mean, you met online, you separate for a significant period of time.
Yeah.
You did go Facebook snooping, bro. You did go deep, bro.
I did.
I only know a couple of people who would go as deep as you. One of them was watching the show. And and for you the way you set it up, I think was the game changer. Because if you had just went in willy-nilly, oh yeah, by the way, I know you're from you piqued an interest that I think is a integral part of you all's relationship. That
it is.
You showed a different level of connectivity.
Yeah.
That connection is key.
Yeah, it is. It is. Oh, and by the way, the boy ends up that's actually her and now my nephew. So
Oh wow. See?
Yeah.
See? You can't figure it out all online, folks. You cannot figure pictures don't tell the whole story. So anyway.
It does not. It does
anyway. And y'all have been married how long?
We now been married 13 and a half years.
Wow.
And so we met, well, we technically reconvened, I should say, the Saturday before Thanksgiving in 2009, which was November 21st, and we got married November 20th the very next year.
Wow. That is all right. Now, listen, when in this part of the journey did you know she was your wife? When did you know that, hey, man, I want to spend the rest of my life with her?
So Thanksgiving, that I already talked, already had that marathon conversation that Saturday, and then we talked for I don't know how long Sunday. I can't remember how long Sunday, but it was a good while. And then we talked again Monday, talked again Tuesday, talked again Wednesday. And so Thanksgiving, she's with her mom, and I'm with my parents, and I'm cleaning up. And as I'm cleaning up, I'm actually, doing dishes and taking down tables, helping my parents out, of course. And at the same time, I'm like, yeah, so how was your Thanksgiving, babe? It's all right. It's cool. Yeah, man, I'm enjoying it. Yeah, hey, I'm still doing stuff now. I'm telling you, man. Oh yeah, mom cooked some good turkey. I mean, just I'm actually doing chores and I'm talking to this woman at the same time, and that's when I knew. I'm like, I need to have this woman in my life.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can actually say Thanksgiving night 2009. That's when I knew that woman was my wife.
That's good stuff, man. I needed to hear that. Other folks needed to hear that. I know that you have hosted a show about life after divorce.
Yes.
And I want to take a quick break. When I come back, I want to talk a little bit about that show. And then, of course, we'll get into some sports. We got Cole Johnson from Cole Sportz joining us here on the lunch break, powered by JM&E, streaming live on Roku TV. We'll be right back right after this.
Discouragement, sorrow, distance. Your arguments cause damage to your family. The hurt leads to divorce. You feel like there is nowhere else to turn. But there is hope for you. That's where we come into play. There is an overcomer that lives inside of you. One ready to take on the world as you leap for joy, living in victory. You'll grow to love yourself and others. There's life after divorce, and you can claim it today. Get Over Divorce, where your new story begins here every Thursday on YouTube and Spreaker.
Hi, I'm Laura Williams coming to you from Bayway Cadillac of the Woodlands. Here we've got tons of inventory here at Bayway Cadillac of the Woodlands, ranging from XT4s to XT6. and from CT4 to CT6. We've got tons of certified pre-owned inventory here. Come see us here at Bayway Cadillac of the Woodlands. You can contact Laura Williams at 281-224-3666.
If you're looking for a sports program that gives you the flavor,
Washington Commanders? Really?
This whole thing stinks to high heaven.
that pulls no punches,
Thuggish act by a thuggish actor.
that gives you some humor,
Praise everything LeBron does and never criticize it.
if you want a show that gives you good times, then this is that show. BS3 Network proudly presents
I am Cole Johnson, and welcome to
Go Sports with a Z. Every Friday on Patreon and every Saturday on YouTube, Spreaker, and all other outlets.
My name is JM&E, and I won $500 on the lunch break from the Keeping Up with the Joneses Bracket Challenge.
All right, y'all, back here on the lunch break, powered by JM&E, streaming live on Roku TV, courtesy of BS3 TV. And I got my brother like no other, Cole Johnson from Cole Sportz with a Z on the show, man. Just getting into some personal stuff, man. We definitely going to talk sports. But to get over the divorce show, obviously that had to do with your experience with divorce. But
right.
what made you really want to turn it into a show?
So I got challenged by my wife, newlywed wife. She was like, you have all these experiences. Tell you what, why don't you read the Bible from Genesis to Revelation? Read it and see what it has to unearth and uncover, and then see what happens, and then come talk to me about what you discovered. So I did that. In the midst of it, I was having these thoughts just come to me. And it turned, actually, some of them turned into books. And one of them happened to turn into a book about divorce. And so I wrote the book. It seemed to really pique my wife's interest when I actually wrote it. And she loved it, to the point where she's like, yeah, I think you should use this art, and I think you should use this art for the book. So I'm like, okay, cool. So, I was thinking, okay, so I wrote about it. Can I speak about it? And then that's when Get Over Divorce was born, because I just thought, I think I can speak about this experience. So I went about thinking about, how would I like to speak about it? And then what would I like to say, and what message would I want people to get from it? Because I don't want it to necessarily be about a divorcee basically saying, I didn't want it to be like a divorcee just getting a whole lot of anger out. It basically is nothing more than just a vent session. It's like no one's going to get anything out of it. Most of all, you. I wouldn't get anything out of it. Because I could say, well, yeah, I feel better. But if I would listen back, I'd say I didn't get anything from it. So I was like, do some things to where people can get from it, and actually admit certain things, such as, well, in this relationship, I could be about, well, this ex of mine, and she has a faults. And yeah, my ex did have faults. Guess who also had faults? Me. And I started to delve more into, okay, so what did I learn? What were the mistakes that I made in that relationship, and how different am I now than I was then? And to me, I think that's the juice of what Get Over Divorce is for me.
Yeah. I got you. It's important, man, because like you said, you don't want to just hear the venting and the negative. A lot of times I would talk to people and they are the victim in every story that we discuss.
Right.
My grandmother used to tell me, without even looking up over her glasses, that if the one thing in common is you. And that would always sting me. It's like, Grandma, how you gonna just side with all these other people? So
you are the common denominator.
Man.
Yes.
Yeah.
Your grandmother was like, ooh.
Man, I tell you, look, Edrice Thomas, I miss her like nobody's business, man. So and then of course you ventured into the sports world as far as shows and things like that. I know you and Snowman did an amazing show. I was glad to be on, I guess, on you all's show. Yeah, and then you birthed whole sports. When did you jump into sports as a commentator, as a broadcast journalist, and all the above, making your way all the way up to where you are now?
Well, no, I find this story to be really interesting too. And this, of course, was birthed by my wife too. So
I kind of feel like she's a keeper, FYI.
Yeah. So my wife was at the time doing a gospel radio program, and she was actually mixing one of her weekly shows for it. And I think she was over we were living in an apartment at the time. She was in one corner doing her thing, and I was in the other corner. I think I was probably watching Sports Center, I'm thinking. And she stops, because I would hear music play every now and then, and I would hear it stop, and then I would hear certain things hit on the keyboard. And then now I realize, because I do it now too, she was actually placing things and editing a full show. So I was like, okay. And so I heard all of that activity stop. And then she says, babe, why don't you come over for a second? We need to talk. Like, oh boy. Okay. Then when a woman says we need to talk, it's not. So I saunter over to her side of the room and I sit down. She says, I've been thinking. So you know sports. Hey, you watch it all the time. You could speak it without any hiccups, and you know all there is to it about many of the different things that you see. Why don't you do a 2-minute segment on my show? I'm like, really? I haven't done any of this. What are you talking about? Do a 2-minute segment, 2-minute radio segment? I haven't done any of this. I'm like, okay. She said, it could be about anything in sports. It doesn't matter what it is. You sure? I mean, I could talk about LeBron. I can talk about Kobe, and she has no idea what I'm saying. It's like I'm speaking Spanish to her when I say this. So I mean, I can talk about who was big in the. Oh, I could talk about Brady and Peyton Manning. I could talk about any of this. Anything. It doesn't matter what. I don't care, because I don't know all this stuff. You could talk about anything you want. You got 2 minutes on my show, and right now you have 30 minutes to plan what you're going to say in that 2-minute span. And your time begins right now. I'm like, what the heck?
Oh, wow.
So she gives me 30 minutes to come up with what I'm going to say for 2 minutes to be recorded. And mind you, she had a mic ready, not like this, but she had a mic ready and she had a mixer ready. So all I had to do was just slide the mic over and speak into it. And she, of course, had the laptop to where it could be recorded into.
Yeah.
So that 30 minutes went by. Of course, it was a little easy for me because it was around the time. This was around the time when you had the NBA hot and heavy in their regular season. The NFL would be like in the wild card round stage. And if I wanted to, and I didn't this time, you had MLB, they were sort of like winters, sort of like the winter meetings stuff that was going on. So I was like, okay, I don't think it'll be too much of a problem, but dang, have me do something I've never done. But okay, all right. I'm not gonna complain. Talk about this. A carried a 4. Okay. I mean, it literally felt like I was doing math. So
Yeah.
So she timed it down to 30 minutes. She says, well, time's up. All right. So what do you have for me? I was like, okay, well, let's see what I got. And so she slides the mic to me. I don't know exactly what I said, but I do know it was wild card round centric.
Okay.
I knew it was NFL.
Uh-huh.
And so I don't remember that. I just remember the end where I said, I'm Cole Johnson, and this is Go Sports. My wife went like this. How'd you know how to do that? How'd you know how to do that? Do what, babe? I don't know what you're talking about. No. How'd you know how to do that? That hook, that hook. How'd you know how to do that? I don't. That's the name of your show. That's the name of your show. I don't care what you do on the mic. Anything you do, you end it with that tag. That's the name of your show. I'm like, oh gosh, okay. You had to know how to do that. Professionals know how to do that. How did you know how to do that? I'm like, of course, I guess it was just God that just brought it into me. You got that voice, use it. I'm like, all right.
Man, and let me tell you, a brother like me hates that. I ain't gonna lie. I'm a hater because I could try over 42 years in radio, broadcast journalism, and I never had a tagline that just blew people away. It was always, oh, that's cute.
And the thing was, I wasn't even trying to do that. That's the messed up.
You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. And you just do it like breathing. You know what I mean? It's like people who can sing. They can say the word "and" like a symphony. I could be just killing myself, and they made one good note. So, brother, I love it, man. I love it. And I'm telling you, your wife, brother, I mean, she is a godsend.
Yes.
Yeah. She has pulled out the best in you, and we now get to benefit from the best in you that she's pulling out. Man, I think that's absolutely phenomenal. I mean, again, it just brings to light why, I would be led to ask you more about your relationships than the sports side of it, because now we see how they're intricately twined together and how they really make you who you are today.
Oh, yeah. Oh, there's no question. I almost would say that it's even selling her shirt calling or Proverbs 31 woman. I mean, it's like, I was like, even though, you read the second 2/3 of that chapter, and that's a quality woman, no question. But it's like, man, she's all that, but she's more than that too. I mean, she is literally the crown on my head, seriously. And I totally appreciate her. And
well, I do too, man. I'm telling you, I'm grateful, brother. I am very grateful. All right, well, I guess we got to do a little bit of this before we go. I'm a little over my time today because it's just such solid gold, man. These nuggets right here are impactful. These guys trying to get me married off, bro. Look at All Mad, man. He talking about me having a great story like yours, and one of my sisters, Donna Coleman Holman, walking me down the aisle. So I appreciate that. Keep looking out for me, bro. Oh, yeah, by the way, they extended Jason Kidd so that you could be happy about your head coach. He's a big Dallas Mavericks fan and a big Jason Kidd hater. And then Erica with a K, haha, all mad. I think a lunch break broadcast ceremony would be in order.
Oh, wow.
When that time comes, it will be broadcast live on this show. I promise you that. Promise you that.
That is awesome. but that's awesome. But to answer the other part of your question, yes, Cole Sportz came years before my affiliation with Snowman and Snowman in the Morning.
Gotcha.
So I actually did Cole Sportz for 1, 2, 3, probably about at least 5 years before we even thought about collaborating on Snowman in the Morning. And then Brian says, you know what, man? Why don't you be part of the show? So I was like, okay, sure. Why not? And not only that, he said, yeah, I'll put your name on it. I'm like, oh, okay, sure. That's what you want to do. And then I got the chance to actually run it when he had to go into surgery for pancreatic cancer. And so for about 2 months, I was the point person for it. And and it started me on a different journey to where
Mhm.
I am now. And
Mhm.
I thank him immensely for the experience. I really do.
Yeah. I love that, man, because a lot of times people think, well, it is, before I say this, it is that our industry is so cutthroat that folks, are
It is. Yeah.
gatekeepers of our platforms. You got
Mhm.
people like yourself, myself, Brian,
Mhm.
Ben Sutter III,
Yes.
King Doc, and many,
Mhm.
many more in our
Right.
family that are not that, man, are not
No.
that. We
Mm-mm.
share, we
Yeah.
congratulate, we empower, we uplift,
Mhm.
we celebrate. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm in the BS3 family. That's why
Yeah.
I don't want to go anywhere else.
I feel
I've
that,
turned
man.
plenty of stuff down because I'm comfortable and safe where I am. Now, don't
Mhm.
mind, don't get it wrong. Now, I can jump in the sea with sharks.
Oh, of course.
I know how to survive,
Mhm.
but I don't have to because I'm in a safe place that's growing, that's expanding, that the sky is the limit. And I
Right.
got great folks like you, man, that I can call my brother, and I'm excited about that.
And it feels so good to do the same. It feels so good to call you brother. And I love the fact that someone can recognize, yeah, the business is cutthroat and the business is dog eat dog, but we now have a family, a cadre where it's the opposite of that, and I mean, I almost go out of my way to show. I'm like, look, I know I have my own platform, but I really want to see your platform shine too.
That's what I'm
And
talking
and however whatever I could do to help make your platform shine, I'm all for it.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, man. I love the tagline, changing the way you watch TV,
Mhm.
but it's literally changing the industry. It's
Yeah.
literally changing the industry. You got
Mhm.
people looking for what we have.
Yeah.
And my hope is that they find it,
Yeah.
whether it be with us or where they are, because
Mhm.
when you got something good, you want it duplicated and replicated. Tell
Yeah.
people all the time, one of the greatest compliments they can give you is by replicating what you do.
Mhm.
Yeah.
No
So
question.
again, bro, this is real to us. Before
Yeah.
we go, man, we saw a little bit, or well, let me ask you the question. Did we see a changing of the guard last night with what Minnesota did again to the
Ooh.
Denver Nuggets in Denver?
That is a good question. That is a really good question. I came into this series saying I really believe this is going to be the series of the playoffs from the standpoint of you have a defending champion, and although yeah they struggled in that 5-game series against the Lakers the previous series, they still won it in 5 games.
Mm-hmm.
And so my thought was, okay, you got big boys with the Nuggets, you got big boys with the Timberwolves. And my thought was, okay, well, is it going to be that the Nuggets aren't hungry enough to want to stay champs, or will they basically have that chip on the shoulder saying, yeah, you may be the new kids on the block, but you're not ready for this yet? Like
Mm-hmm.
basically what the
Mm-hmm.
Pistons were in the late 80s to the
Right.
Bulls.
Right.
Like, yeah, we see you, we know you next. You're not now, so get out of
Right.
our way.
Right. Roll you all
So
up out of here.
yeah. So my thought was, I want to see if the Nuggets were feeling that type of energy when it came to the Timberwolves, because I know they have to recognize that the Timberwolves are that next team,
Mm-hmm.
if at worst in the Western Conference, let alone period. So then we have the Timberwolves, where you look at them and you see that they are hungry. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, they're hungry.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, you can go with the other pieces. I mean, you have Rudy Gobert, who's probably going to be Defensive Player of the Year, probably for the 4th time in his career, and you have Karl Anthony Towns, who, yeah, he's up and down, but when he's on, he's a whale of a player, and
Yeah.
to me, he's their X factor. You cannot say anything bad to me about Anthony Edwards.
Can't. Bet not.
There isn't a bad word I can say about him, and if it is, that there's somebody else that is inhabiting my body, because that is the guy who has next. The question now is next 2024, and it looks like they want it to be. It looks like he for sure wants it to be. My time is now, and I love it.
Mm-hmm.
I love it,
Mm-hmm.
and because of it, man, the Nuggets have their work cut out for them because
Yeah.
I don't know if they could take 2 in Minneapolis like what the T-Wolves did in Denver. If they can, I'm great for it because I called 7 because I want to see 7.
Yeah.
But the Timberwolves are like, no, I think our time is now, and we took personal how we got beat by you guys last year. We want to give you a little bit of that dosage this year. Beautiful. And we might be looking at a change in the guard.
Yeah, I love that because when you got a young team like Minnesota, who's very well constructed, I give the front office a lot of credit.
Yeah,
they quietly went about their business constructing a team to beat the team. Ric Flair, to be the man, you got to beat the man. They did what they needed to do, and they did it quietly. Not a whole lot of flash, not a whole lot of drama or anything like that. And these boys have gotten to be about their business. They play defense like their lives depended on it.
Oh my God. I actually saw a clip about 30 minutes before before this wonderful interview took place where it was 2 long wing players that was on Jamal Murray like his jersey. And you can see Murray in the midst of dribbling the ball down the court and getting past half court, trying to beat the 8-second clock. Flustered when he got the ball, flustered when he got to the 8-second line, flustered after he got past it and was about to be trapped in that corner, between the half court line and the near out of bounds. And and he didn't even want to throw it away, but he had no choice but to, because the defense was just that oppressive on him.
And I got to tell you, to defend the way that they did, I saw that play as well, and not foul. Murray was looking for the bailout from the foul, and it never happened.
And it never
they
happened.
did not do it. They closed him into whether he could not breathe and turned it over. And again, to see that happen to Denver, because that's typically what Denver does to other people.
Man, here's the funny thing, man. I actually said to another friend of mine, I said, I think what Mike Malone, the head coach of the Nuggets, I said, what I think
got teed up and thrown out, by the way, but that's just my opinion.
Yeah, I think he went too ballistic too. I said what I actually said to one of my friends. I think he needs to do Anthony Edwards the same way that looks like what Mr. Finch, the head coach of the Timberwolves, is doing to Jamal Murray.
Yeah,
I think that he should. I thought they should send big wing bodies at Anthony Edwards, give him different looks, and make it a little difficult. I thought that's what they were going to do. They haven't done that yet. But yes, I thought the same thing. I thought that's how they were going to defend Anthony Edwards. But no, they haven't done that.
Let me go fast paced real quick. We're gonna do kind of like a hot seat round, if you will, because I've got several things I want to get to, and our time is definitely running short. Who helps fix the Lakers? Who do they bring in to fix what's going on there?
Who helps fix the Lakers? Well, I will say no one helps fix the Lakers, but how the Lakers can get fixed is addition by subtraction.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, LeBron needs to go.
Yeah,
and this is not a I hate LeBron type of thing. No, there's been many a talent that I think they were on their way to building a really good team. That because of LeBron's "we need to win now" pressure, now that is gone, and the future may be gone with it too.
Yeah, they don't have a lot of assets, and they only got a few guys, maybe 2, who can bring in assets, and LeBron is definitely one of them.
Yeah.
Okay. Are the Knicks for real? Is it finally New York Knicks time in the East?
I have my boy Wise and Hefe, stuck in my mind, and other wonderful shows too. He's a huge Knicks fan. I think he wanted me to say yes. I still will say no, but I say no with this caveat. If you're going to be the number 2 team, I think this is the right. No, I think they have the right number 1 team that they can unseat in the Celtics. The Celtics have all the talent in the world in the East. Sometimes they just don't have it between the ears. But what the Knicks seem to do have that I think is a little bit better than the Celtics is they seem to have that toughness that for some reason the Celtics don't really have. So their time is coming. I'm not saying they won't make it, but their time is very close to coming. I believe so.
All right, I got one more for you in basketball. Is Giannis in Milwaukee next season or the season after?
Oh, okay. I think he'll still be there next season going forward. Look, I know that Giannis is I'm a loyal guy, and he has worn his love of the Bucks on his sleeve. I'm not sure if he feels as though he's going to be able to do in the future like what he was able to accomplish in 2021. I don't think he can do that again.
Mm-hmm.
And if he wants another ring, he's probably going to have to look elsewhere to get it. And I think he has that example in Damian Lillard, who was loyal to I won't say fault. He was loyal to a huge degree in Portland, but Portland didn't do right by him really in building around him. I mean, come on. CJ McCollum was the only piece you could build with him. That's the only big time piece you could have with him for all that time. And he had to leave, just like when they got rid of McCollum. He had to leave and find it elsewhere, and he thought he would have it with the Bucks. And unfortunately, Giannis is starting to show those wares. And I think he's seeing in Damian that frustration of, dang, maybe this team isn't building correctly around me. So he might seek elsewhere, but he's a loyal guy, so I know it will probably not be. It will be a fight for him to leave. I'll put it that way.
All right, let's go NFL real quick. Now, this is kind of an unfair question, but I'm gonna ask it anyway. Who has the better season, Caleb Williams or one of the quarterbacks for the Pittsburgh Steelers?
Not one of them.
It would be easy to say Justin Fields, but Justin might not see the field.
He might not see the field.
So Caleb Williams or one of the quarterbacks for the Pittsburgh Steelers?
I want to say one of the Steelers quarterbacks, but it is contingent on if they actually want to run the ball. And it is also contingent on if that offensive line is good enough to actually have the ability and capability to execute running the ball, because they got two running backs where they can do this in Jalen Warren and
Najee Harris.
Najee. Harris's last name, the first name was not coming. I was like Alabama, Harris, Najee. And Najee Harris. So you have those two in your backfield. So the propensity to want to run is there. To me, I think that is what will help either guy. It doesn't matter if it is Russell Wilson or if it is Justin Fields. And I think that is what they have an advantage over what Caleb Williams will inherit with the Bears. As last I checked, the Bears, they have 5 300-pound turnstiles when Fields is on the quarterback. I think they still might have 5 300-pound turnstiles with Caleb Williams on the quarterback in 2024. So I'm not saying that I think Caleb Williams is going to be a bust. I'm not going to say that type of ridiculousness. But I don't think I like what I'm seeing with the what's in front of him. Now, the pieces he has in skill position players, they did the Bears did do well there. Yes. I want to see what that line does in front of them.
All right. Kansas City and in the Super Bowl.
Oh, Kansas City or the field?
Mm-hmm.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Who you
got? I might actually say we might see our first ever three-peat in Super Bowl era.
Wow.
And the reason why I say that, now you got a chance. Well, I mean, I've watched them, but you're closer to Austin. You got a chance to see Xavier Worthy. And, I was thinking, okay, so you had Rashee Rice, who he was the rookie who ended up becoming the number one wide receiver on the Chiefs. He was going to be the guy that was going to be the replacement for Tyreek Hill. Not that he was going to be the same speedster that Tyreek Hill was. Different type of wide receiver.
Yep.
But he fit what the Chiefs were going for in terms of what their offense was built. So I'm like, okay, so it looks like they have at least a wide receiver to build off of and a future wide receiver target that could help the Patrick Mahomes. But the dude decides to go drag strip racing in Dallas. So So he exits, and I was thinking, okay, well, looks like there's a chink in the armor. Okay. Then they draft Xavier Worthy, who can basically fly faster than a fly.
Yep.
I'm like, doggone it. So the rich gets richer. I'm like, geez, the rich gets richer. And to me, what people don't talk about with the Chiefs, they focus on the offense because you think, well, the people mistakenly, and I say mistakenly because this is what I believe, mistakenly say that Patrick Mahomes is the best player on the Chiefs. I don't think he is. He's the most prized possession on the Chiefs, but he's not the best player. The best player on the Chiefs wears number 95.
That's it.
It is Chris Jones all day, all night, and all weekend.
Come on.
And the reason why I say that I believe the Chiefs can three-peat is because that defense has gotten better in this last 2-year run.
Yeah.
And then you got Steve Spagnuolo, who is, to me, he is the stud. He is the stud. Forget defense coordinator. He is the stud coordinator in the last 25 years. I don't know how he gets his defenses up for these big time games time and again, but he does it.
Yep.
And to me, I haven't seen a team on either side, either offense or defense, that I could say that unit can actually win a game and win a championship for that team. I can say that about the Chiefs defense.
Yeah. All right, we got to do this one quick. Rate and rank the NFC East for me.
Rate and rank NFC East. Okay. All right, I'll say at number 4 would probably be the Giants.
Okay.
I know that I'm just not really impressed with what they have, and then the best player they had, they just simply said, "Fine, go."
Yep.
And they didn't want to really invest in Saquon Barkley, but well, so be it.
Yeah.
So yeah, to me, I think they're the worst team in the NFC East right now. Number 3 is the Commanders. I am liking what they're doing. I think they have the ability to actually be better than they were last year. I'm not quite sure if they will have all the pieces together. It does depend on how fast Jaden Daniels matures. No question about that. Number 2. Oh, I have to say the Eagles. I had to say the Eagles.
Did you hear this? I did this just for you. Your Cowboys are ranked number 1 in Cole Johnson's rankings.
I had to say the Eagles are number 2 because I don't think they're solid yet to me in what they could do offensively, and I think defensively they're getting back to what they want to do. And they have the pieces. I just think they don't have the mindset as a whole. And I think they're going to be missing Fletcher Cox on defense and Jason Kelce on offense more than they will let on. And then you have the Cowboys at number 1 in the East. I think they're the best team in the East. Do I think they're going to do anything in the playoffs? No.
Okay. So now I'm going to do this one. You tell me if I'm wrong or right. Keith Hennig, this is for you. NFC South. Bottom of the barrel, Carolina.
Yeah.
Number 3, New Orleans. That hurts.
Yeah. It hurts, but you're right.
Number 2, Tampa or Atlanta?
Oh, so you have doubts about Tampa. Okay.
I've just seen the Baker Mayfield story. I've seen the episodes 1 through 29, plays well for a while, falls off the wagon. It's everybody's fault but his.
Oh man, you referring back to when he was in Oklahoma, and then his
everywhere.
early NFL days? Okay,
everywhere.
Okay, so you believe that much in Kirk Cousins?
Something about this dude, wherever he goes, he finds a way to win until he gets hurt.
That's my issue with him. It was 2 issues. I like Kirk Cousins. I never hated the guy at all. But that right there, you name one of the 2 issues I have. He now can get hurt, and he was durable, but now he's 36 now. He get hurt, and sometimes in the big moments, he does not make that one play that your team needs to have them win. And I actually want to say that they're the best team in the NFC South because of him, but I'm not so sure. And then you have the drama that is, well, we slid a whole bunch of money in Kirk Cousins' face in March, and then in the next month we draft his replacement. How good will that go over in the locker room?
Yeah. Here, I'll show these two real quick. We got to go. Keith Hennick, big Tampa fan, says Baker Mayfield sucks. Falcons win the South. And Ahmad said, I believe the live broadcast is on. Okay, thank you. I thank you. He's a big Cowboy fan.
Okay.
So, all right, man. Listen, I'm going to get out your way. I'm going to let you go. Tell everybody where they can find you and follow you, Cole Johnson. This has been a pleasure.
Thank you, man. Thank you for the invite. And yeah, we definitely got to do this again. And right now I am in charge of a project that I really believe in. And you can see it behind me. It's called The Morning Shift with Cole Johnson. It is a BS3 Network, Comey Media, which is my brand, collaboration. It's something that's special because it's all about every single brand that is on BS3 getting represented by this one particular show. But it's also a news, entertainment, social justice, political justice, sports, life, money. It is an all topic, general topic show where we'll have interviews. And yes, AJ, you definitely have an open invite to be on the show. It comes on at 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Central. You can find it on the BS3 Morning Shift Cole Johnson YouTube channel. You can also find it on other YouTube channels. You can also find it on the BS3 Network YouTube channel as well. You can find it on Roku TV, streaming live on BS3, just like the lunch break at 1 Eastern, noon Central. You can find it on the same spot, except you can find him on YouTube at the lunch break with AJ. So that's what I'm doing. And you can find me on online at floco.com/page/host Cole Johnson. That is floco.com/page/host Cole Johnson. But yes, the Morning Shift with Cole Johnson, powered by the BS3 Network, every weekday, 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Central, on the BS3 Network via Roku TV and the BS3 Morning Shift Cole Johnson YouTube channel.
My brother, I love you. I thank God for you. I appreciate you. You tell my sister, I said, hey, I can't wait to meet her, man. She is an amazing woman to me. And we'll be talking soon. I mean it, man. We'll be doing this again soon.
Definitely, man. I love you too, brother. Thank you for this. And yeah, we definitely have to do this again.
All right, y'all. Cole Johnson, y'all. Cole Johnson. We get ready to roll. I'm a little bit over my time. Let me hurry up and hit some quick stuff. We'll be back tomorrow with Winning Wednesday right here on the lunch break, powered by JM&E, streaming live on Roku TV, courtesy of BS3 TV.
BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV.